YouTube, what are you doing? This is Dan McDonald from regenerateyourlife.org, and you know me here as the Life Regenerator on YouTube. Y'all said it, you're going to get it. I got about 200 emails. Dan, go on and on and on and on about everything, because I really do study a lot of materials, and I've got a real good heart for mankind. I am still working on purifying my own heart. There's no doubt about that. And that's the reason why I am doing a water fast right now. I'm on day 2. So I'm still running off of some of the glucose in my liver. And probably by tomorrow afternoon on day 3 or tomorrow evening, I will be beginning the process of ketosis, where the body starts burning up fats and the liver starts to produce certain enzymes that start to really detoxify the body. Okay? And so when I go into ketosis tomorrow, that's when the body will start burning fat, my mind will slow down, and the toxins that I've accumulated from, just there's metabolic toxins, there is, emotional toxins, mental toxins, vaccines, the fluoride, the metabolic residues from just food in general, unless you're eating like fruit, you know what I'm saying? Like watermelons and cucumbers are like the least metabolic residue foods. Do you understand? Melons, berries, very low metabolic residue food. Fruit's the best. But I had a question here, and I want to do this some more because I want to get engaged. There's a resurgence of the Life Regenerator, but this could be the last video for a while. But anyways, I'm not in a hurry today, so that's great, but I'm excited. So I'll just talk as long as I want, and we'll go into this education. I'll answer a question here for Mason Jar O Perp. And guess what? If I go on here and answer these questions for y'all, we'll probably have more viewer engagement. I'll probably get more video views, and I'll probably rise back to the top and become the king of YouTube again like I used to be. But I did get a little off track, and the reason is because, of course, I had the poverty and I was trying to get this humongous child support debt paid, which is now paid, and cover my kids. So I worried about money for quite a while there, and I just had to be reminded, actually, so you got to love your haters because they remind you to look at your own life. You got to really thank them, to look at your own life and, to really look, because they're seeing a chink in your armor that needs some work, some shoring up. So for a while there, I was more thinking about the money than I was the service. And now my faith, as it grows, I'm able to really focus on service. And then I know that if I do that in my logical mind and in my heart, I know that if I focus on service, this wonderful, beautiful, brilliant, abundant universe will just bestow upon me everything that I need to do the work, to make sure that my kids are taken care of and my other loved ones and my responsibility, gas in the truck, a roof over my head. This is my favorite, it's a resort, and it's my favorite resort. The water is pure, I can bathe in that, and the air is fresh. I went outside and took a walk, and I was on the phone with Lou for 4 hours, so I'm going to go visit Lou in a couple weeks and get some videos with him, so I'm excited about that. And really what it is here's the question, and I can talk about what we went over with Lou. Like, fasting is something that people don't understand. They think it's like some kind of weight loss thing, which is the last thing from the truth, except in the fact that maybe, and I'll get to the question in a minute, Life Regenerator, you said go on and on, baby. You're gonna get an earful, and a heartful, and a mindful. People are like, fasting is not a good plan for weight loss. No, it's not, but it is a great opportunity to become aware of the inner child that was hurt. And unless you're Jesus or Buddha or Krishna, you know what I'm saying? And you were an enlightened avatar sage, there's probably karma, or there's probably an opportunity to go inward and to observe some of the places where you may have covered over. And food is the biggest drug number for people in this world to avoid feeling their feelings. Okay, and then there's those feelings in there of not good enough, or people get raped, they get abused. Somewhere along the lines, they tell the story they're not good enough, not smart enough. And I have residues of all of that. You know what I'm saying? And so there's this hurt little boy. So I'm going inside. That's why I'm water fasting, myself, to get down into some of those deeper places and look at them. Like for last night, I was up till 4 in the morning. Because normally you eat a nice meal, it calms you down, and you go to sleep. But if you're fasting, you don't need as much sleep, because the reason why people sleep so much is because they eat so much. You'll learn that if you do juice fasting, water fasting, fruit diets, etc. You'll learn that you just don't need as much sleep because your body's not spending so much time digesting and regenerating from all the residues that are left over from the heavier, denser, less electrical, more mucus-forming foods. So, that being said, I will say one last thing about weight loss. What's going on there is you might have an inner voice telling you that sometimes that's what a disease is. It's like it gets so bad that you have a chronic disease and it's in your liver, or it's in your eyes, or your ears are clogged up, or you have stiffness in your joints. In some way or another, there's a blockage to health. There's a lack of awareness about something that your inner light is trying to tell you about. And if you are afraid to look at that, or you're afraid to experience those sensations that we call feelings within the body, there's a likelihood that you will want to stuff that and bury that down with food, which is, in my opinion and experience and observation, one of the main things that humans use food for. And I said, if you're in your head is hungry because you have this system and this strategy of avoidance. If you just eat a bunch of food, kind of get knocked out, the shopping and the preparing and the buying and the cooking and the preparing and the eating of it and the sitting there with the fullness of it, the thinking about it, it takes up a lot of time, and it can help you to avoid the unpleasant that was buried in childhood. And everyone's got the pain. And no matter whether they want to admit it or not, everyone has different ways of dealing with it. Some people are more timid and humble and afraid. And some people put up these huge walls where they're pretend so much that they're not afraid of anyone or anything. And it's really, they're more scared than anyone. And if you're just like me, I'm lucky in the sense that I go into that timid place, which has kind of really hurt my YouTube career, but I don't want to be fake either. So I want to get through this in a real way. You know what I mean? So that it's authentic. And when I show up with true self-acceptance, courage, and self-love, then it will be real and authentic, instead of trying to build up some bigger mask over my heart or over my perceived inadequacies. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to really, truly, deeply heal. And that's what the life regeneration is, was, and always will be. But I'm talking about turning on the light bulbs in your body, activating your mind so that you are a receiver of the infinite divine knowledge. And you can't do that with so much bread paste and mucus and cooked fats and everything clogging up the circulation to your brain. And the other centers within your body, the endocrine glands, which are related to the chakra system, won't come online either. There'll be deficiencies there, weaknesses in one point or another, and one point of weakness weakens the rest of the system. So you can go and have your weaknesses and shore them up and patch them up, and you can eat a whole bunch of food or use drugs or coffee and try to make up for those blockages. But it's be better to do what I do, which I think is the divine and holy road, which is to burn up, cleanse out, detoxify, regenerate, and shore up those weaknesses of a truth, so that you really are real, you really are activated in your full potential as a human being, an infinitely electrical, illuminated being, where that electricity of life is flowing through your 72,000 acupuncture meridian points, and the possibility of disease is absolutely impossible. Do you understand? So whoa, but you said it, go on and on and on. So you're going to get it, baby. You're going to get it. With the thing is, okay, so is the fasting good for weight loss? Well, it just depends. If you can actually, through awareness, you take everything out when you're fasting, like tomorrow I'm going to go into ketosis and have probably a lot less energy for a while. So this is my last hurrah, but I'll lay there, and what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll talk to that little inner child, which I began to develop a relationship with him. Somewhere along the lines, he got really hurt real bad. Not to mention that the whole thing from the very beginning wasn't a very good start. My mom was 16 years old. That's like my daughter Natea having a kid. And then there was abuse going on, and then there was a lot of drugs. And so it's a kind of a mess, you know what I mean? So it never really was. So for me to be who I am and sensitive and not ultra confident guy, hey man, that's cool. Like I got to accept that about myself, but I'm coming forth by being authentic and saying, hey, I'm just me. The thing is about the DTM is I'm aware more of what I don't know than being one of these egomaniacs. It's like I know this one little percentage and I'm going to promote it like it's the only one truth that there is because I've had a little bit of experience or whatever. But I'm more aware of, wow, I'm Dan McDonald, and it's like there is so much more to learn about everything. But that shouldn't stop me from getting up here. And I mean, I've read thousands of books. I've been into this to win this for so long. I've hit so many blocks and I've found them all to be within myself. So diving deep inwards, cleansing this stuff out and creating more confidence and self-acceptance has been amazing. So if you are fasting and and through awareness, the heightened sense of awareness that you know is sure to come when you take food out of your stomach and the blood to your brain is thinner and it's getting to the deeper recesses of your mind and that vital electricity is actually there to feed your brain, then you'll have more energy in your brain. You know what I'm saying? Boom, clarity like you wouldn't even believe. And so what you'll do is you'll be able to be more sensitive to your sensations. Because I'll tell you, it's like, if you're anything like me, you can be so unconscious for so long. You think you're so enlightened and so illuminated. And as you go down this path, you're like, holy crap. I mean, I've been operating in this unconscious program for so long, I didn't even know that it was there. That I always turned to donuts every time I got sad, or always opened a box of Haagen-Dazs ice cream. You didn't even know it. You thought you just liked ice cream. You didn't even know. It was like you'd go unconscious, you go into robot mode, drive to the store, eat a box of Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and then go, oh shit, what the hell just happened? And then you'll wake up and say, oh, I'm not going to do that again. And then you'll do the exact same thing the next day. So you're waking up and enhancing your awareness through fasting. And you're able to start locating some of that inner hurt, and you start to develop a relationship with that child. The adult within you and the enlightened sage is able to really be compassionate, understanding, loving, and nurturing. And this is where we have self-nurturing. There is nothing in the world like being nurtured and loved by another human being. We all know that. But a deeper level of intimacy can come from your partner or your, anybody that can nurture you. My ex-wife, she just gave me a massage every night. I mean, I paid all her bills and brought a bunch of food and took care of the girls and made a really happy, healthy house. So my ex-wife and I get along enough. She's like, do you want a massage? I'm like, well, of course, So that nurturing would help me to sleep really, really deeply at night. And I really appreciated that, and our relationship is better. But a deeper relationship and intimacy and nurturing, self-nurturing from yourself is amazing. And so that is what we're cultivating through this process of, let's say there is a person. Now, physiologically, it is better to learn how to eat appropriately as best as you can. But until you get to some of those deeper issues, which can arise through juice fasting, monofruit fasting, or any type of limitation, like I'm not going to eat the ice cream, and you're like sweating balls, you know, oh, ice cream, and you're just like, you know, you've been through it 97 times. You've eaten a box of ice cream and hated yourself for it afterwards. You're like, I said my only single goal today was to get through the day without eating Haagen-Dazs, and you're holding on to the thing, and you're calling all your friends, and you're watching TV, and you're like, okay, I got to go get a massage, and you're tripping out because you're physiologically, your neurons and your nervous system is so used to that ice cream being there to just bring you down, coat your nerves, bring you down, give you the sugar rush, the dairy rush, the cold, smooth, creamy rush. Now don't go out and buy some ice cream. That does sound awful good. We better make some raw ice cream up in here. But, you know what I'm saying? So you're sweating bullets. Oh, you just every ounce of your unconscious, every part of your nervous system wants that ice cream. And you get through it. And the anxiety that goes around that, I know you know what I'm talking about. Every single person on here knows what I'm talking about. You don't want to eat the burgers and the fries, but you've done it 900 times. And today's the day you don't want to do it, and you're sweating bullets and you're craving it because your nerves are so used to that, your habits. This is part of what can happen through fasting. You can start to break some of those cycles, family cycles. You can bring a massive amount of awareness. Not only that, but the physical toxins being released. Physical toxins, which equate to emotional toxins, which equate to mental toxins and brain fog, which equate to spiritual clarity. It all comes in when you remove that food that goes in here, and you allow the food that is the most powerful and subtle food. Now, I'm not talking about oxygen, which is the #1 source of gross nutrient matter. Oxygen, okay, is the key to physical health. But when I'm talking about spiritual health, I'm talking about cleansing out those old vibrations by cleansing out and purifying and allowing the inner light to just burn it up. But if you keep stuffing your face, stuffing down the light, you're snuffing out your light. But as soon as you remove that stuff and live a simple diet, or do a juice fast, or the most powerful, a water fast. No one just jump on a water fast. I'm going to show you some educational materials and talk about this question here. So that's just 20 minutes for the preparatory work. You see how Dan McDonald can definitely go on, because over the years, in the beginning, yes, I was more cool at the RV. I was cool and the videos were 10 minutes and I was entertaining. But you know what? There is a need, a desperate need for true health education, because the stuff that's going on out there is ridiculous and it's misguided in every way, shape, and form. You want to get a true, real education of the deep knowledge, which of course has to be suppressed and nobody wants to hear, because nobody wants to miss a meal. They want to hear that they can eat their way to health. And in certain ways you can. But it's the removal of the offenders, the removal of the excess that allows the blood to thin out and penetrate more deeply, carry more oxygen, neutralize the acid waste, melt it down, open up the kidneys, melt the lymph, drain out through the kidneys, be neutralized through the lungs, blood, and heart, through the urine, the mucus through the urine, through the kidneys. The liver neutralizes tons of toxins. And then you've got your skin if you want to sweat. There's a lot of detoxification channels. They need to be opened up. I'm working on some programs right now, and I'm going to be making them available digitally on my website, regenerateyourlife.org. You should sign up for the Insiders Club. Pause this video and do that now. We're developing an amazing relationship over there. And they're the ones that inspired this video and these other videos, because I got hundreds and hundreds of emails about how epic that last video was. And I know I'm going to get a lot more about how epic this video is, because I know an epic video when I'm living in the middle of one. Can you dig it, baby? So there's always a link down below these videos to sign up for the Insiders Club. You know, just get the free information. There's a couple of emails already stacked up. Otherwise, I might have done this on the Insiders Club. I was going to not share this fast. Screw it. I'm going to share the fast. You see what I'm saying? I'm showing up, baby, bold, with the truth, the real sword of truth. You know, not the easy, sheeshy little puff, little cotton candy and Hollywood hot pink truth that sounds so good that you can eat anything that you want and get healthy, because you can't. You have to follow certain specific principles that are nature that will never change. Maybe in a billion years you can do those things if your body adapts somehow and becomes less of what it is, but the fruits and the leafy green herbs with the small amounts of soaked nuts and seeds is what it's going to always be about, because that's the living fiber, the living water, the living foods, the living cells, the living light, the living sunlight condensed within those foods. And if you burn it up with the heat and you change and alter its chemistry, the tissues in your body are like, what's the hell is this? It doesn't even recognize it. So that's why I'm talking about raw living foods. I mean, I had a conversation for 4 hours with Lou Corona today, dude. And we were talking, and we talked about a lot of stuff. And he says, people just don't know. Lou Corona knows. Dan McDonald knows. And so does my friend Tavis, and so does my friend Christina. Like, we get it. Like, we're 100% raw, dude, and we are not going to break that law. Can you dig it, baby? Let's talk about fasting. Now, we're warmed up. Dude, I gotta type in my code here. Oops. Okay. Here we go. Yo, Life Regenerator, what's the best way to fast and how long? Lemon water for 10 days? Is there a certain stage you should be at before you fast? Yes. I'm not even recommending water fasting on this video. Do you understand? But I will share with you some educational materials so that you can make up your own mind and create your own fasting program with your own inner guidance. I don't recommend fasting because well, you know what? If you're relatively healthy, you can fast for a few days with no problem. But you need the preparatory work. So do the prep work. Don't try to be in a hurry. The prep work is a transition diet. You can go to my website and get Transitioning to Raw, or you can get Detox Mastery. Both of those programs, which are coincidentally available at 50% off right now, are going to help you to transition and prepare your body so that you don't have any major ill effects. If some dude is a meat eater and he's got 20 pounds of meat in his gut, and then he does a 21-day water fast, and then he breaks that water fast with fruit or dates or something like that, there can be such a massive amount of fermentation that they could dislodge and have a heart attack. Now, I've read thousands of case studies about fasting, and I know, yes, over the years, 4 or 5 people have died. Oh my goodness. But if you read about the hundreds of thousands of case studies of people that have benefited, why did those people die from water fasting? Because they just lack the knowledge and the appropriate, preparatory work. You want to work with somebody that knows what they're doing. You want to get your colon cleaned out, get the high fiber foods moving through you, fruits, green juices, salads, eliminating cooked foods more and more as much as possible. Some steamed vegetables are fine in the transition period. Don't tell anyone I said that. But the raw food, transitioning to raw, or raw food detox, or detox mastery, are 100% raw food programs that will slowly move you in the direction of getting some of the mucoid plaque broken up and out of the way, and start cleansing the blood, building the blood, hydrating the system, mineralizing the system so that you can incrementally start water fasting. Now, what I would recommend first of all is that nobody under my guard should do any more than 36 hours. Now, there's a reason why I'm saying that. It's because, number one, I want to protect my booty, and number two, I don't want just people jumping out and saying, oh, Dan made it sound so easy and sound so good. A lot of people don't talk about this. Juice fasting is great. It's a way to start. Water fasting is where the rubber meets the spiritual road, okay? But I have been doing this for many years, preparing myself, cleansing slowly but surely. How would I recommend that you do that? Number one, eat more fruit and drink more green juice and eat more low-fat or non-fat salads for weeks or months leading up to it. You can juice fast for the most part without worrying about it. But let's set up a scenario here so that it's educational. You know, move toward step one, start eating more raw foods. When I say raw foods, I'm not talking about going over to the nearest raw food restaurant and eating a pile of nuts, okay, that aren't soaked, sprouted, or culturized. You want to learn about the soaking, the sprouting, and the culturization with the probiotics, okay? That's a huge benefit to the absorption of the minerals, vitamins, and essential fats in the nuts and seeds. It makes it about 10 times more digestible, okay? So that is something that you can learn from Detox Mastery and transitioning to raw as well, which is the culturization process. But just start eating more fresh fruits and vegetables, period. And eliminating more cooked food, particularly meat, causing issues during the detoxification process. Now, more difficult to remove is the residues from the starchy grains like rice, oatmeal, and bread. That's a real sticky, slimy paste that gets deeply embedded within the blood vessels and cakes along the walls of the GI tract, creating a very thick mucoid plaque. And so you've got there more of a sticky, pasty mucus. With the meat, you've just got massive amounts of putrefactive materials. And then the dairy is way out too. Eliminating dairy first. Get rid of the cooked dairy first of all. Raw dairy, we could have a long conversation about that. If you're in Siberia drinking yak milk, I mean, it's gonna keep you alive, and it's really not bad for you. In India, they drink milk. Milk is actually a sattvic food, and even though the proteins are too large for humans, it still can be very life-sustaining and beneficial in certain ways. So I'm a vegan for health reasons, and I'm not a vegan police for ethical reasons. My daughter is an ethical vegan. I'm a health vegan. And so if I just focus on the health and eliminate all the animal products, then I've handled the ethical part, but I don't want to be a pasty, pale, slime-filled, weak vegan. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of those out there that think that it's more important to save the animals than it is to save themselves. That it's more important that we eliminate all animal products than actually create dynamic, radiant, illuminated health within ourselves and completely become enlightened beings. And then the more people you enlighten, the more they're going to look at the animal and they're going to go, I can't kill that thing. I don't want that. That wouldn't be, you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to have parades and make videos about becoming vegan. When the people become enlightened, there's just no way that they're going to eat that because they know that they don't have to, because there's nuts and seeds and fruits and herbs, and it's all that you need for health. Once you understand what's really going on with health, which is the reason why I'll be making videos for a while, so that people can understand true health, pure blood, healthy lungs, highly functional endocrine glands. The hormone imbalances, dude. The thyroids, the adrenals, people are wiped out. And there's a reason. The stress is killing you. You got to learn to relax. And so that your blood can be pure. If you're stressed, your blood is dirty. And you never get healthy. If you're breathing filth, New York City, I don't know how people do it. Chicago, I mean, you can't, acids in through the lungs, acids out, carbon dioxide out, acids in. You never get a chance to purify your blood. You have to get to the fresh air. I don't know how else to say it. You've got to prioritize on that. With the fasting, go slow and steady. Educate the hell out of yourself. The educational materials I'll share at the end. I've got a whole stack of all my most inspiring books here I'll share with you. Go slow. A smoothie cleanse. What I'm saying is, on my watch, do not do any more than 3 days to begin with until you have done 36 hours. Master the 36-hour water fast. Water with a little bit of lemon, that's it. Master that. Do 10 of those. See what I'm saying? Do 10 36-hour water fasts first before you do anything else, and that is after you have taken 1 to 3 months to be at least 80% raw, and anything cooked is only vegetables. In the transition period to get the broccoli to kind of sweep on by, the cauliflower, although the fiber is still not a sweeping fiber once you cook it. There are some ways to blanch, I realize, that can save some of the fiber, but all said and done, raw foods have an electrical fiber that sweep through and remove toxic material from the GI tract. So that's why I recommend 100% raw. But don't do a water fast on my watch under this advice here unless you are at least 80% raw living foods, fruits, and vegetables. I'm not talking about, oh, I had a chocolate for dessert, then I had a cashew cheesecake pie, then I had a pound of nut pate for dinner. You want to eat nuts and seeds in moderation with your salad or something like that on a dressing. You don't want to eat piles and piles of nuts and say, oh, I've been 80% raw, now I'm ready to do some water fasting, and it's all been 80% nuts. Of course, by then you'd be inflamed and acidic, because you need mostly fruits and leafy green herbs. Should be 90% of your diet, you know, for a healthy human being who really wants to illuminate electricity. That is the program. The rest of it, 10% nuts, seeds, herbs, you know, and different things, turmeric, gingers, garlics, you know, sea salt is even beneficial in many ways, but that's a whole nother video in itself. There's a controversy out there, but just like anything else, garlic has its upsides and its downsides. And we'd have to go into that some other time. Salt, it has its upsides and its downsides. And you need to understand these things so that you can be an efficient healer. But when someone takes a black or white stance, they do not understand the nature of the true one living holy God that is present, and all things are in due time useful when the time is right. So 80% raw for 3 months. It's some steamed vegetables. I'm not talking about I had a bunch of meat and I had a bunch of grains and I had a bunch of ice cream and a bunch of dairy and now I'm going to do a water fast, because you're going to have too much too fast. Get the kidneys working with the cucumber and the parsley and the apples and the lemons and the watermelon and the oranges and the celery. Oh, I fucking love fruits and vegetables. I get a rush talking about it. Of course, I'm on day 2 of a water fast and would love to slam some food, but it's a choosing to suffer. You're choosing to suffer, to go inward, to look at some things that food keeps you from being able to see. Can I get an amen? Slow, slow, slow. There's no one right way, but if you really want to know, like, you're going incremental. Let me see if I can channel here something. First of all, fruits, green juices, smoothies, and salads. 80% raw, some quinoa, and some steamed vegetables for 3 months. Then you're ready to start doing some mono fruit meals. Have a watermelon for breakfast. Eat 6 or 8 oranges for lunch. A box of those awesome little mandarins that are in season right now. All the while you're drinking plenty of the best water you can find. Mono fruits for a few weeks. Bananas are okay, and dates, but those are more, you want to focus on, if you're preparing to water fast, you want to focus on high water, watermelons and oranges. Remember, citrus fruits are the ultimate cutters. Lemon, grapefruit, orange, mucus dissolvers. Oranges, lots of oranges. The amazing, miraculous orange, one of the greatest foods for human beings. Organic, Valencia, seeded oranges. Eat the seeds. Chew the seeds up really well. Get those bitter principles in there. Anti-parasitic, blood purifier, essential oils. And the amino acids and the proteins and the fatty acids in the seeds. A balanced food, Valencia oranges. Praise be to thee, O Lord Most High, and Mother Nature. Can I get an amen? Oranges. You know, eat oranges for several days before preparing for a water fast. Then you can move into, and you can, while you're eating whole fruits, you can do some smoothies with all that fiber. Real good stuff. Kale and lettuce and spinach and cilantro in your smoothies. Some bananas or whatever you like to use, and etc. You can also, to prepare for water fasting, anyone who's having issues with the colon, you can go to the Pyridine website, which is a link down below, and you can get the Pura Cleanse. You put that with some orange juice every single day. That is in the Reboot program, which is now available. Product plugged all throughout these videos. Ooh, he's getting smarter. No, but the Pura Cleanse is really awesome. That comes from Lou Corona's company. It's an amazing blend of herbs. You mix that with the orange juice. That's on the Reboot program that I just sent out. If anybody wants to get a transitioning, stabilizing program after you've partied down too much on the holidays, it's 100% raw, but it's cleansing, and you'll never go hungry. The Reboot program is on my website as well. But the Pura Cleanse, you put that into the orange juice every day, that's going to help you to start cleaning the bowel wall. You're going to want to do that every day for about a month before you do a water fast. I want to make sure that there's the least amount of discomfort and zero issues, you know. I'm a disclaimer in saying that I am not recommending anyone to fast. I'm just saying that if it was me, this is what I would do and this is what I have done. Fasting is the most ancient remedy. It is truly the physician within you. And then, once you've done the fruits and the Pura Cleanse and the smoothies, then you can move on to and get ready for the next level, juice fasting. This might be where you want to stay. You can do some amazing things with just juice fasting, and the risks are about 75% less. Water fasting is a serious business because of the crap and the filth that's everywhere in the world today. So juice fasting, that might be as far as you ever go in this life. And if it was, I would totally understand. But for those of you who are going to the top of the mountain, that want to activate everything in your light bulb, we need to get the message out there and create a resurgence of this most ancient healing practice, which isn't even that, it's just nature. Animals get sick, they're not hungry. They don't eat, they go lay down. It takes them a day, 3 days, 6 weeks to heal a broken bone. The animal just goes, it breaks its bone, it goes and lays down, sits there, it goes into ketosis itself, and then the bone heals itself without any intake of nutrients. How does that happen? Well, you'd be surprised at my answer, Mr. Breatharian, by the nutrients that are available in the air. But this is a completely and whole another level of consciousness in which the world is simply not ready for at this time. No offense, I know that you're brilliant, but this shit is way the hell out there. And the animal sits there without any nutrition, its bone completely heals itself or it dies. Now, we don't have to be that intense because we have so much knowledge and so much information available to us about how to safely, easily, and effortlessly fast. But the dudes that are doing the fasting for the money, that aren't healers, that are just fast, hygienists, just come here, it doesn't matter, no prep work, just drink water, no lemon, no preparatory work, no bowel cleansing, no enemas. Okay, those are hygienic water fasters. I have a lot of respect for them, but they're not necessarily healers. They're doing their best, and they think they're doing what they think is best. Just water. or they don't want to spare the expense for the colonics, and they don't maybe not want to spare the expense for a 3-month preparation before you do a 10, 14, 21 day, 28 day, 30 day water fast. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of history behind this. There are hundreds of thousands of case studies of people that were thrown away by the medical, that absolutely were reborn, and all their medical doctors died way before they did. They stayed on a moderate raw food or just moderation in diet, which leads to longevity every day of the week. Overeating and gluttony is a sin, and you will pay for it, period, the end. There's millions and millions of case studies, laboratories, lab rats, humans experiments, and just downright common sense will tell you the earthworms that get fasted live 10 times longer than the earthworms that are allowed to eat freely as much as they want. The earthworm shares the same genome as us, and when we fast, we grow younger too. We activate DNA that is the dormant potential within these certain chromosomes. We activate that potential right there. We lengthen our telomeres. We live longer. We live younger. We live more vital. We live more dynamic. The endocrine glands are illuminated and you are on fire. And then you're like Lou Corona, 63-year-old kid. 63-year-old man with the energy of a kid and a happiness and a joy. Loves to hang out. He's like, yeah, let's make some videos, dude. I got the 15th, 16th, and 17th. Can you come down? I'm like, yeah, dude. And he's like, we'll have some fun. We'll talk about love. We'll talk about recipes. I'll show them how to do this. I'm like, oh, that sounds good to me, Lou. All right, I'll come down. He's all excited. I'm excited. Let's make a program. Let's do the Lou Corona program, and I'll put that up on my website. Woohoo, yeah. So, are we clear? Go slow, don't be foolish. Mellow. And I think you got the basis of it. There's no one single one right way. I could design a program that would be more linear. That's probably what I'll do. I'll have to do that. I'll make a program and I'll sell it on my website for a couple bucks that says, a program. Of course, I'll put, time and energy into it, and then Ricky will have to clean it up, and I'll make some videos, and I'll make a how to prepare for water fasting program. I've also got another one coming that I'm working on right now while I fast, how to detoxify heavy metals. That's going to be probably my life's work, is how to regenerate your brain by eliminating the heavy metals, which are everywhere. Vaccines, chemtrails, and the water, and people are walking around like sheep. And then when they see videos like this, they're like, this guy's crazy. No, the guy's not crazy. He's awakening right here in front of you and wants to reach out and take you with him. Let's go up. The more you go up, the more I go up. The more we all go up. I want to save America. I don't want my country to go down. I love it here. I want to save America. I got a lot of work to do. I'm going to make videos till the cows come home, how we can love one another, eat right, and take back our power, and tell these fools to quit putting their poisonous needles in our arms and quit dropping shit on us from the sky, so that we get Alzheimer's, dementia, autism, and every other kind of neurological disorder, MX, Lou Gehrig's, and all that. And people are like, what's wrong with me? It's like diet. I'm like, no, the oxygen and detoxification, chelators, it's all there, man. And I've just got this whole download of what I need to do to make it very clear and simple. It'll actually be super simple to detoxify yourself of heavy metals, but you need the right supplements and stuff like that. And so, I'll put that program together, put it up on my website, and and I'll keep making videos here too. I've got recipes that I can share with you. That's what you do. You make a recipe. Here's one recipe for chemtrail and heavy metal detox, and then you say, no, go get the rest of my program over there. That's business, and you got to be smart. It's like I'm not really a YouTuber. I'm actually more of a website guy. The YouTube is more of a hobby and for fun, but also you got to be a responsible businessman in this country, because you got your child support, and you've also got the dream of putting together a retreat center one day where the fruit orchard is there, and you're going to need some of the funds to be able to do that. And you should be compensated for your hard work, your skills, and your talents, because you're worth it. Bam, baby. Can I get an amen? When we exchange, we're just exchanging. I'm saving your life, you're saving mine, it's equal exchange. If without that exchange, it's stupid. I want more than what you're willing to give. When people pay for stuff, they actually do it. When they get it for free, they're like, oh, I'll do a life regenerator or heavy metal program some other day. Oh, I got it for free. No, you're going to pay. And when you pay, like when I paid this guy for counseling about helping me to get through some of the issues in my life, I showed up on time. I paid the good money. I paid the good money, and I'm going to do the homework assignment that comes on December 6th. I'm going to do the videos, do the workbooks, and learn about this particular subject area in my life. Finances, relationships, and health. That's kind of the triage of the things that I want to focus on in my life, where I've had issues, and I've had a lot of education, and I'm coming out of that. You told me to go on and on and on. So, I'm going to share with you, and I'll let you go, but I really could keep going, what it is. You need to know this about DTM. It's not about a madman who's ranting. I went through years thinking that what I had to say wasn't important and didn't matter. But I wanted to get up on YouTube, and I have a business, so I had to plug my DVDs and stuff, and I wanted to, plug my other stuff so I could pay my bills and stuff, but I just felt like, oh, this stuff isn't even, nobody cares. That was my own inner illusion. What I have to say is not important. But now I'm starting to see, wait a minute, Dan, you're actually pretty freaking on point, dude. You're just rare. You're just unique. Just because the 99% of the world is never going to get it does not mean that what you are not sharing is not some powerful life-changing truth about the raw foods. Imagine what would happen if you got your colon clean and your mind got clear, because your colon and your brain are intimately connected. But no one thinks of that. The brain doctor looks at the brain, the colon doctor looks at the colon, the heart doctor looks at the colon, the life regenerator looks at all of it and tells you how to get free and fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle. To fly, to be free from the pain and the heaviness and the lethargy of the heart and the confusion of the mind. Instead of having all these separate, the brain doctor, the heart doctor, the colon doctor, I'm like, well, it's all intimately connected. And it starts with the hub. You're all clogged up. And with the clogging, you suppress those emotions and sensations of your heart with food. Well, then you just digested all that anxiety, all that fear, all that grief, all that guilt in every cell in your body, and it saturates into your colon and goes into your blood and infuses into your DNA. Your DNA is expressed by the nature of your emotions, which you haven't gotten a handle on because you're not willing to stop eating, stop smoking, stop drinking, stop humping, stop entertaining, stop working, stop getting, stop buying, stop consuming. Take a minute, go be by yourself. I'm not following my own advice right now, making videos and stuff, but I can't wait to just be there with myself, and I hope that it's uncomfortable as hell again tonight, because I know that's a release of debris that's been sitting in there controlling my life for way too damn long. And that's why when you get to that point, you will realize that it is time to monofruit fast, solitude, silence, take some colonics. Start taking care of yourself, cleaning this stuff out, becoming aware, listening to yourself, honoring yourself, loving yourself, so you can show up for the people that you love. Because if you're halfway broken showing up. You want to get healed, cleansed, regenerated, mind anew, activating DNA that is a vibration of, hey, you just lifted the room up, bro, when you walked through that door. Not, well, you neutralized it or you brought it down with the expression of your DNA and your electromagnetic frequency that the spiritual people will call auras. You want to purify your aura, baby. You want to be so filled with light and love and understanding, even for the people that hate you. Even for the people that hate you. When you can learn, which I must learn, and I intend with every cell in my body to learn to love those who hate me. To learn to understand and have compassion and get the gift from the hater. To shore up my own illusions of inadequacy and deeply learn I have to accept myself. This is what water fasting is about. Don't go jumping in and doing anything crazy. I don't care about the hygienists. I have seen colonics and enemas do miracles in front of my face. Now, I don't go sticking hoses up anyone's ass, but I let them do it, and they come out and say, God, the headache I've had for 2 years is gone. I've had that happen more than once. I have a headache. Oh, take a colonic. Take an enema. No, I can't do that. I can't stick a thing up my butt. Okay, fine. 6 months later, you ready to take that thing? No. It's waste matter affecting the nerves, causing gas pressure on the brain. Take some enzymes, go for a long run, and take a colonic and get that gas pressure out of there. That putrefying waste matter. It's a whole mess of just fermentation, putrefaction, rancidification, and a great breeding ground for viruses, bacteria, and parasites to thrive, affecting people's brains. Again, affecting the expression of the DNA. Your DNA is sitting there waiting for you to tell it what to do. And nothing activates human growth hormone, reproductive gland function, pituitary function, thymus, thyroid, pituitary, pancreas activation through the process of fasting, which cleanses. The juicing in the fruit can take you a long way, but when you're ready for the deep, that's when you start studying these materials. Thank you so very much for spending your time with me. Let me share with you some of my favorite books on fasting. If you don't know about this man, Arnold Ehret, take your notes. Get a pad of paper and get your notes, okay? And rewind this video. Arnold Ehret. Write that down. Mucusless Diet Healing System. Amazing piece of literature, baby. Read it all the time. I got to throw this one in here because if you just get this book, Bliss Divine, you will become much faster enlightened in this earth. But there's a section in here on health, which is unique and powerful and will teach you the power of your mind in health. And also the section on health has a section, he just says it. If you're not well, fast until you're well again. I think that's the whole statement. If you are not well, take a fast and become well again. Like it's common sense back then. And now it's like, oh, you can't miss a meal. You'll fall over dead. No, you just need to educate and understand what's going on physiologically. There is a lot of literature and research, and this is one of the best books to find that out. Oh, that was Bliss Divine by Swami Sivananda. Highly recommend that if you want to transform your spiritual life and get disciplined on the path of sadhana and practice your practices with vigorousness to change your life and to change your karma and to become a better, loving, intelligent, activated human being. Swami Sivananda, thank you so much. I think of you every day. You're a big part of my life. Swami Sivananda and Jesus? Dan, you're contradicting yourself. Nope. Dan is very, very clear, and there is no discrepancy in whatsoever in my love for Swami Sivananda and Jesus and Buddha and my love for anyone, anywhere who had those experiences and then shared them with the world. They inspire the living life up to me. Now, this book is going to help you to understand physiologically what's going on than any other book that I've been able to find at this point. I've read some pamphlets with more scientific information. This is Stephen Herod Buhner. Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, Herod, H-A-R-R-O-D, Buhner, B-U-H-N-E-R, and it is The Transformational Power of Fasting. Physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual benefits of fasting and what's taking place physiologically so you're not scared or uneducated about the process. This is an amazing piece of literature. I recommend it highly before starting any water fasting more than 3 days. I will not allow anyone to fast on my watch for more than 3 days without getting some supervision, okay? And that's my caveat because I don't want to hear of any problems. Go slow and steady and be responsible for yourself. Take responsibility for yourself. I'm doing this because I love it and somebody needs to do this and share this information. Rational fasting, Arnold, Ehret, amazing, amazeballs, dude. This is one of the greatest. Arnold Ehret, amazing. I read these books over and over and over again, baby. Again, here's the one I'm reading right now as I soak in the hot spring. I'm halfway through it. I'm on the part about, there's a part in here about why people get old, why they get gray hair, and why they get wrinkles on their skin. You know, the true cause of aging, loss of attractiveness, loss and graying of the hair. And he grew his hair back through fasting and fruit diet, baby. This is, again, it's called The Cause and Cure of Human Illness. Arnold Ehret. Again, my boy. What's up? I'm not going to mention that. I've got another book here by James Allen. Here's the one that changed it all for me 14 years ago, baby. The Essene Gospel of Peace by Edmond Bordeaux. Can't even pronounce that last name, so write it down. You know what I should do? One of my dreams is to go through this book. Oh, I'm running out of battery life. That's awesome, DTM. You hardly ever do that on this camera. I'm doing a good job of going on and 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 on. Yeah. The Essene Gospel of Peace. Essene, Gospel of Peace. I want to get at least 100 comments down below that says, Dan, read the Gospel of Peace to us via video and do a commentary. It'll take probably 20 videos to go through this thing. But I will read this and I will share with you my understanding of it, which has grown over the years. Yes. Renew yourselves and fast, for I tell you truly that Satan and his plagues may only be cast out by fasting and by prayer. Diseases, emotional disturbances, mental disturbances. Okay? Go by yourself and fast alone and show your fasting to no man. I'm not doing very good about that one, am I? That's okay. I think that I have a covenant. The living God shall see it, and great shall be your reward. And fast until Beelzebub, parasites, and all his evils depart from you. And all the angels of our earthly mother come and serve you. And all the angels of our earthly mother come and serve you. Is that not the most beautiful thing you've ever heard? Doesn't that make your heart get soft? For I tell you truly, except if you fast, you shall never be freed from the power of Satan and from all diseases that come from Satan. Fast and pray fervently, seeking the power of the living God for your healing. While you fast, eschew the sons of men, stay away from people, and seek our earthly mother's angels, for he that seeks shall find. Wow, seek the fresh air. Seek the angel of water. Seek the angel of sunlight. Can you dig it, baby? The Gospel of Peace. This book changed my life, man. I have been doing everything I can to live by the principles in this book for 14 years. And I'm doing an okay job of that. Man, I'm freaking blessed, dude. Shit, to find that book? Oh my God, that changed my life, dude. I'm probably alive because of that book. I was homeless walking around the streets, man. And I walked into a bookstore and this dude just looked over at me and he said, "You want to know what the real truth is?" And I said, "Well, of course." I was stoned that day, walking around homeless with a backpack. $1 book. I said, well, I can afford that. One less Jumbo Jack for the day, 99-cent Jumbo Jack. But here's a book that's going to be, this is the most highly recommended read for the beginner. This one and the Mucusless Diet Healing System. But I want to recommend this one first. Is this one signed by Patricia? Patricia sent me the whole collection, and she said, Dan, my father would be so proud of you. Isn't that amazing? Patricia Bragg, when I was living in the RV days, she sent me a whole box of the books. And she goes, Dan, my dad would be so